Stand out from all the rest by becoming a CFA charter holder. As the investment industry evolves, professionals need the tools to evolve with it. When you become a CFA charter holder, you're not only developing real-world skills and expertise, you're demonstrating to employers that you have what it takes to thrive. In fact, more than 80% of those who earn the CFA charter say it boosted their career. Sound interesting? Go to cfainstitute.org/learn to find out more about the Level 1 CFA exam.
And welcome back.
Can I use your mic?
DJ, hit me!
This is the craziest thing I've ever experienced in my life.
Gary Hoffman.
The problem, sir, is that our hero is not, he's not a handsome man.
Shannon Farron.
The whole crowd band together and started chanting.
Gary and Shannon.
That's how the show started.
I'm a match, she kerosene. You know she gon' burn down everything. She an arsonist in a pastime. And I've been burned for the last time.
KFI AM 640 live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. It is the Gary and Shannon show. They are off for the holiday. That's a hot drum break. Wayne Resnick sitting in. And we have some hard news for you, but we also will have some fun today. That is a promise from me to you. But first up, this keeps happening. Somebody left an almost empty bag of snack nuts in the bathroom here at KFI.
I know who that is, by the way.
Well, I know who it is too, but let's. All right, we'll go.
No spoiler alerts.
We'll go 3, 2, 1, and say who it is, and see if we agree. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Bill Handel. Yep. Yes, and there's plenty of evidence that it's.
He was
Bill
eating
Handel.
that 2 days ago.
Second Nature Wholesome Medley, which consists of almonds, dark chocolate chunks, peanuts, dried cranberries, cashews, and dried cherries. Sort of appetizing, right? But not in a bathroom. So he took him in the bathroom. So was he eating in the bathroom? Who eats in the bathroom?
I think he finished them on his way to the bathroom.
Well, there was some left. A tiny bit was left. Are you trying to stick up for him that he wouldn't eat in the bathroom?
Oh, definitely not. But he was eating them on Saturday when he was here.
Oh my goodness!
So that's a 2-day-old snack at least.
Does anybody want to admit eating in the bathroom? Chris Little, you are in the news booth for this shift. Good morning, sir.
Hello. I have had beverages in the bathroom.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. Which fixture were you using?
The stand-up fixture.
Wait.
A urinal.
This was in a commercial space. Or are you like Penn Jillette and you have a urinal in your house?
Yes. No, I'm talking about here.
Okay, so you go into the bathroom. So this is like simultaneous on and off loading of liquid.
Yeah, I've actually thought about that. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's a little gross.
Well, it's not too bad. I keep it covered, while I go in there in case there's anything floating around in the air.
Oh, sheesh. Mondo, producing the show today, do you have any confessions now that we've learned that Handel's not the only one that'll take food or sustenance into a bathroom?
I've taken a beer to the bathroom, like at bars or in Vegas, but I've never, and I will never take a beverage into this bathroom here.
So a typical bar bathroom is less threatening to you than the bathroom here.
Yeah, because I've already had a few, so it doesn't really bother me.
Okay,
I
get it.
So.
And why don't you leave your drink at your table or at the bar?
You might get roofied. I don't want to get roofied.
Okay, well, no, nobody wants that. Jacob? Now, Jacob is furiously desanitizing. Did you hear what I just did, Chris?
Making it filthier.
Yeah,
yes.
I know. No, I'm sorry. Because my brain wanted to say decontaminating, but also it wanted to say sanitizing. So you seem like the cleanest person here.
Yeah, but I have done what Mondo's done.
Oh, my.
I've taken a beer or drink to the restroom at a bar.
Ugh, y'all are filthy. You just are so disgusting, all of you.
But no food. Food is the exception.
Why? What's the difference? It's a thing. If you're taking in a thing that's going in your body and you're taking it into a room that has poop particles flying all over the place, and that's not my opinion. Science has proven that time and time and time and time and time again.
Yeah, but there's something about a drink that's easier to take in there. I don't think you could physically take in food.
Yeah, that's why I cap it. But you know what, Wayne? All that poop stuff floating around in the air, sometimes we'll take a deep breath with our mouths open or inhale through our noses, so we're still getting it.
I see.
Why not have it land on a tuna sandwich or, on a Diet Coke?
Fair enough. I'm going to take issue, Jacob, with your theory that it's easier to carry a drink. There are many foods that are easy. Like, wouldn't it be easy to take a corn dog in there? Or a fudgesicle? Or a hand pie? Just three of the many foods that can be efficiently carried in one hand. Leaving a hand free for whatever you got to do in there. Oh, that's not what, I'm sorry. That's not what I meant. I just meant like unzipping your fly. I didn't mean anything else. Speaking of hand pies, which now sounds dirty to me, it is National Apple. Mondo, you're the chef here. What is the other term for a hand pie or, a small individual pie?
Strudel?
Tart, maybe? No.
Tart is not.
No. Anyway, it's national, because I don't have it up on my screen, but I read it before. It's National Apple, some other word for a hand pie day. In other words, it's not regular apple pie day. It's small individual.
Turnover.
Thank you. Turnover is exactly the word. It is National Apple Turnover Day. So I thought that meant you get an apple and then you put it on the counter stem side down. But that's not what it means, right? All right. Let us get some news from Chris Little, and then we will get into the show proper. Now, I'm just going to warn you right now. There's a lot of controversy on today's show. A lot. And the first area that we're going to get into is this. Women cannot compete with men at everything. And I'm going to have stark evidence when we come back that there are some endeavors where women cannot even come close to achieving what similarly situated men can. It's KFI AM 640, the Gary and Shannon Show.
If you want it, you can have it. Come and get it. If you want it, you can have it. Come and get it. You already know.
KFI AM 640, live everywhere on the free iHeart app. Sorry, I just spilled something. No, I didn't. Hey, it's the Gary and Shannon Show. Wayne Resnick sitting in. Oh, boy, the mystery deepens. Ladies and gentlemen, just last segment, I reported to you that our esteemed and beloved Bill Handel left an almost empty bag of his snacks in the bathroom. Well, Jacob, somebody called the back line to protest my reporting. What happened?
So you asked me if I was defending him. No, this person who called was defending him, saying that was not his snack.
What? Wait, the phone rang?
The phone rings.
Now, this is a line that is used for example, if the program director hears something she hates, that line will ring. If there is a massive technical problem, that line will ring. Once in a while, it's a wrong number.
Well, once in a while, it's Chris Little.
Or it's Chris Little with some piece of advice or correction. Correct. But so the phone rings, and who is it, and what did they say?
They just addressed themselves as one of Handel's people, saying that he doesn't eat that snack.
Wait a minute. Wait, I'm sorry. The phone rings. What do you say when you answer that back line?
I say Air Mix, KFI.
Okay. And
Standard.
they say I'm one of Handel's people?
Well, they first started off the phone call by just saying he doesn't eat that snack.
Wow.
How do they know?
I have no idea.
I don't know.
They must plan his meals.
And you don't know who it was?
No idea.
One of his people. He has like a PR team that monitors. Here's the thing, okay? Because now, of course, I mean, KFI, I'm glad you're here, by the way, Crystal, as a news director for this happening. Because KFI is known for and prizes credibility. Right?
Right.
I mean, this is our number one, certainly the news department, absolutely all day credibility. And even with us crazy people over here, there's a bedrock of credibility.
Yes, there is.
That we strive for. Then when we get into opinions and stuff, anything can happen.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, the credibility of my reporting is now in question. So let me supplement the record, if I may. For at least all of last week, I'm only going to stick to things that I would be prepared to testify under oath about. Last week, every day, at least once a day, and sometimes more than once a day, I walked past Mr. Handel's office. The door is open all the time. He generally leaves the door open once he comes in. And on his desk, every one of those days, were 3 bags, each with a different colorway of snacks.
I saw those.
All clearly from the same company. And I assume different mixes, different versions of snack mix.
Now, they're all trail mix, though, right?
Yes.
Oh, that's a relatively healthy snack, though.
Well, this isn't a debate about whether it's healthy or not. What I'm saying is, so 5 days in a row, multiple bags from the same company, clearly on his desk. Now we have a second witness, Chris Little, testifying he also observed them. And today, in the bathroom, one of those bags. I suppose you could say, how do you know it was exactly the same bag? Fair point, Your Honor. A bag of exactly the same size, colorway of one of the bags that I observed last week from the same company in the bathroom during a period of time when Bill Handel is actively in the building. Now, to further bolster the credibility of this whole thing, Jacob, please report what you observed Saturday.
I observed him eating the same said bag of trail mix. During the breaks, before we went on air, and as he was leaving. I did not see what happened to the bag after the show ended on Saturday, but I did find it in that bathroom today. Now, it could be a different bag. Maybe he finished that bag on Saturday and got into a second bag today, but it's the same company.
So, and this is something I used to have to do all the time in federal court, where somebody would be making some kind of a cockamamie argument about something. And sometimes what you have to do is you have to break it down this way. You have to say, if Bill Handel didn't leave that bag of snacks, this is what you must believe. You must believe that he had bags of snacks like it, that he was seen eating out of that, a bag exactly like that on Saturday, that the bag was found in the bathroom today during a period of time when he is in the building, but you must believe, even given all of that, that simultaneously a completely different person had the same bag of snacks and left the almost empty bag in the same men's room that only a handful of people really ever use over a weekend or on a holiday.
And today, add to that, this building is virtually empty.
Mm-hmm. So if you are willing to believe that there is another person eating that brand of snacks out of the same size bag who is in this building over the weekend, because we're talking about there's probably less than 10 people that are even in this building over a weekend.
I think we need to do a DNA test. Science never lies.
Well, as a member of the jury,
yes,
I'm willing to vote guilty.
I haven't even finished my closing argument, but you know
I'm
what?
already ready.
Submitted. The jury of one has deliberated, and you have rendered your verdict guilty of leaving the bag of snacks. All right. I think we've settled that nicely. Now, here's what's going to happen. 1, we're getting some news from Chris Little. 2, now this part's serious. The Biden administration has announced a program where there are people who have been deported from this country after committing serious crimes, and they have announced a program through which they are going to invite those people to come back to this country. And unbelievably, given what I've just told you, I totally support this program. There's probably something I'm not telling you yet, right? Oh, you'll find out. Also, I'm going to run and get that bag and preserve it as evidence. KFI AM 640, live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. It's the Gary and Shannon Show. Wayne Resnick sitting in on this holiday. Chris Little is here, anchoring the news. Jacob's running the board. Mondo is producing. Mondo is also, can't say too much right now, but let's just say he's working on a special project. And if it comes to any fruition, we'll definitely tell you what's going on. Hey, how about this massive ransomware attack? The biggest ransomware attack ever in the history of ransomware attacks that has 1,000 or more companies all over the globe scrambling. The White House actively involved in trying to respond to it, even though I'm not aware that the White House was hit by the ransomware attack. And fingers being pointed at Russia, specifically this group called REvil. Get it? Take evil, make the E a capital letter, put a capital R in front of that. I'll give them credit for this. They know branding. They know branding, these hackers. REvil is... They make ransomware and then sell it to actual hacking groups that will deploy it. So they're like the, like a restaurant needs a restaurant supply company to get the big pots to cook the soup or whatever supplies they need.
Where are they?
Well, they are believed to be in Russia. Oh. Interestingly that you bring that up. So they think it came from them, and what they did is, this shows how impossibly complicated the systems are so that you can go to Zappos and buy sandals. So, like, every place has computer systems, right? All businesses, government agencies, schools, they all computer systems. And it is prohibitively expensive to run all of your IT in-house. Even a relatively small entity like, I don't know, a small school district somewhere. You need equipment, you need software, you need a network, and you need some way of having it all monitored and updated. And to do all of that in-house, I don't know how many companies even can do it, because not only, of course, do you need the people to do it, but think about this. If you're going to do it all in-house, You need to write all of your own software for every single aspect of your system. Let's say you have a little liquor store somewhere, right? You have the cash register that you scan, boop, boop, and the thing comes up, whatever the person bought. You have a point of sale terminal that coordinates with the cash register. You have some kind of inventory tracking system. If you're going to do it all in-house, you have to have somebody who they have to write a program to run on your cash register and a point of sale program and the network that meshes them together. And they have to write from scratch the inventory program that takes that tracks every bottle of liquor. Well, no, who can do that? Who can afford to do that? So, of course, you use outside help. You buy a system. You also contract with a company to monitor your network activity, for example. Okay, so the way we're seeing a lot of these ransomware exploits done is not by, you don't go directly to the school or the liquor store or the hospital or the small city. You go to the company that services all of them with the network monitoring and whatever other services that are being provided. So that's what these people did. There's a company called Casilla, and they provide these network services. And they were able to compromise their supply chain, basically, and insert this malware into the constant stream of monitoring pings and software updates and system upgrades that this company is constantly pushing to their thousands and thousands of clients. And so all of these computer systems have been infected, many of them in the United States, but in about 30 or 40 countries. This is going on.
Can you easily explain how they become infected? Because we've been hearing about this forever. You would think that they have some sort of defense.
Oh, yeah. Well, there's the problem. And this gets back to not only are all these systems complicated, right, but also this. How safe would your house be from an intruder if you had no doors, no windows, no chimney flue or dryer vent or hood vent over your stove? If your house was a completely solid sealed box, you'd be pretty darn safe from an intruder, right? But you need a door to get in and out, and you need a window to have some light and fresh air, and you need that vent so when you're, frying up that steak, right, that you don't smoke out the place. So the problem is also with all of these systems, sure, they have attempts to defend against intrusions, but by definition, they have to have ports of entry because otherwise nobody could do anything, right? Hey, we have an email account for you here at KFI, Chris Little. You can't access it from outside the building, though. Well, that's a fat lot of good that does, right?
Yep.
So the problem is they take advantage of the parts of the system that have to be there to allow the system to function in the first place. And most of this malware is masquerading. So, yeah, there's some systems in place, some checksums and things that happen to try to make sure that the traffic is legit. But, if I was able to get, like in Mission Impossible, one of those hyper-realistic masks that Tom Cruise would put on, and he looks like another person, if I could get one of those and it looked exactly like you and it was that good, then I'd walk in here and nobody would stop me and everybody would go, there's Chris Little. So this software basically is super disguised to be legitimate. And then it gets in and then it's just bad. It's the software equivalent of like an angry little kid running around and tearing up stuff.
So is it indefensible forever?
Well, each strain, once it's discovered And once it's investigated, you could build in a defense against that particular strain.
Like the flu shot.
Yeah, it is very much like that, right? You have one strain of the flu, and you can build a vaccine for that. And by the way, that vaccine might also stop some other strains, but it can't stop every strain, particularly strains that don't even exist yet.
So this is going to continue forever.
Yes, unless we are willing to rewind our connectivity way back. There are some things that could be done in some areas. Remember the story, Chris, about somebody hacked into some city's water treatment system, and they were able remotely, to bump up the amount of a certain chemical. I forgot which chemical. But a chemical that at tiny amounts is good for water treatment, but at bigger amounts will kill everybody.
Right.
And they were able to do it remotely. They didn't have to be at the facility. You could roll that kind of access back where you cannot alter a process from outside the building. You're going to have to show up and get through with the key card, and maybe you have a security guards there and show them ID, and it would be much harder for a hacker to get into a municipal water system.
Yeah, but that costs money.
Exactly. A lot of money. So we are paying for the convenience and the operability of all of this connectiveness with the vulnerabilities that these people are exploiting. So no, I don't think there's ever going to be somebody says we have invented a way that never again can malware infect a system. I don't think so. So that's what's going on with this particular thing. And just one well, how does it affect day to day, Okay, this is just one example out of hundreds and hundreds. There's a supermarket chain in it's either Sweden or Denmark, I forget. They've been shut down now because they can't run their cash registers.
Amazing.
So, it's literally, hey, let me go to the store and get a chocolate bar. Oh, well, they're all closed. Great. So I don't know the role the White House has to play, really, in something like this. But they're certainly out there talking about it. And I know that Biden, it was reported that he suggested there could be action if it's determined that Russia is either behind this or is tolerating it.
Seems to me they'll never be able to.
He ought to come out and say, we have a pretty good idea that Russia is at a minimum tolerating this stuff. We're going to work a little bit more to shore up the evidence, and then we're going to knock them in the face over this crap.
It seems like it's going to be a tough job to prove that they're doing anything. Russia.
Right. Oh, right. Well, they don't even, I think, admit.
Yeah.
Officially, they don't admit that it even happens. So
I've seen enough movies to think that maybe the president's just going to say, you know what, we're sure they're doing it, and now boom, here's our attack on them.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. We'll see how much of this will we put up with before, I guess, the line of diplomacy is moved.
Seems like we put up too much.
I agree with that. All right, let's get some news from Chris Little, and then I'll get to the thing about women cannot compete with men in at least one area, I promise.
Yeah, the dogs went out of key to a hymn called Faith and Misery, and bleed the company lost the war again.
KFI AM 640 live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. The Gary and Shannon Show. They're off for the holiday. Wayne Resnick sitting in. Let's just get to this uncomfortable bit of news from the world of sports. Joey Jaws Chestnut broke his own record in the Nathan's hot dog eating contest yesterday. 76 Franks and Buns in 10 minutes, besting his own record that he set last year, which was 75. So he keeps pushing toward that magic triple-digit hot dog number. So good for him, and this is his job. And I'm sure he trains mightily. But here's what I don't understand. And I swear to you, I mean no disrespect. My tongue is firmly planted in my cheek. But I note that the female competitor who took the women's title, Michelle Lesko, her score, 30 3/4 hot dogs. She called her win an amazing feeling. How amazing would it feel with 30 hot dogs in your stomach, though? So here's my point. What is it about the physiology of men versus women, cultural factors surrounding men or women, that the female competitor couldn't even eat half as many hot dogs as Joey Chestnut? Is Joey Chestnut twice as big? That might explain it. If he were literally twice as big and therefore had twice as much room on the interior of his torso, that could explain it, but I don't think that that's the case. So it's just curious to me. I was surprised at the performance gap. You don't see performance gaps like this in all sports between men and women. Look at the soccer situation. You know, where the performance is like the women a lot of times are even better than the men. So I'm not trying to cast aspersions. I'm certainly not trying to say, hey, ladies, you know, maybe your place is in the kitchen making the hot dogs, not on the boardwalk trying to eat the hot dogs. On the other hand, you can do better than 30 hot dogs, can't you? You're probably wondering, well, what is the history of this Michelle Lesko? I mean, I don't really recognize that name. When I think women competitive eaters, I think Miki Sudo, right? Don't we all think Miki Sudo? She didn't compete this year. She is expecting a baby in a few weeks. And this is very romantic. How romantic is this? Miki Sudo is married to a guy named Nick Weary. What does Nick Weary do for a living? He is a competitive eater as well. I want a movie about this romance with like the parallel the scenes of them as kids first getting inspired to be competitive eaters. Maybe their parents were like, yeah, we don't want you. We want you to be a doctor. We don't want you to be a competitive eater. We disown you, or whatever happened. Or maybe one of the parents was like, this is terrible. You're embarrassing the family with this dream. But the other set of parents was like, oh, yes, we support you 100%, and like started buying them supplies. I don't know what supplies you need to train for competitive eating. And then culminating in the meet cute. Every romance story has a meet cute. And I imagine, put down anything you're eating right now. I imagine the meet cute for two competitive eaters is like they meet when they vomited on each other after a particularly grueling contest. There you go, Hollywood. I know you're out of ideas. All you're doing is sequeling and rebooting everything out there. And there are very few original ideas. I mean, we're getting to the point where there's movies based on Twitter threads. That's true. Zola, which is playing now in theaters near you, a movie based on a Twitter thread. So there's a great idea for you. Somebody make that movie. Who's the director that would do the best job with that romantic comedy, do you think? Hit me up with your ideas. All right. When we come back, there is a study out, and it says what you must do, you specifically must do, in order to combat climate change, and specifically in order to keep the Earth's temperature from rising more than about 2.5 degrees Fahrenheit. And I will tell you all the things that these people say that you will have to do and not do, and then let's decide together whether we really practically can save the planet or not. It's KFI AM 640, live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app.
Stand out from all the rest by becoming a CFA charter holder. As the investment industry evolves, professionals need the tools to evolve with it. When you become a CFA charter holder, you're not only developing real-world skills and expertise, you're demonstrating to employers that you have what it takes to thrive. In fact, more than 80% of those who earn the CFA charter say it boosted their career. Sound interesting? Go to cfainstitute.org/learn to find out more about the Level 1 CFA exam.
Switching to Geico is a good idea, especially when you consider everything.
First off, Geico makes it easy to switch. They have licensed agents available 24/7 online or over the phone.
But if it's so easy, you might start thinking everything is easy, even big wave surfing. And it's not. It's actually quite difficult.
Well, if you switch to Geico, you could save hundreds on car insurance. And you could keep saving by bundling your motorcycle, boat, and RV, plus your home or renter's insurance.
But saving money might lead you to make some questionable purchases, like a 20-foot feather boa. And do you know how hard it is to clean a 20-foot feather boa?
Well, they do have an industry-leading mobile app you can use to pay your bill, file and manage a claim, or add a new driver.
But when life gets a little easier, it makes you too confident, and you start calling everyone Ace. And you're better than that.
Well, Geico has a 97% customer satisfaction rating and has been saving people money for 85 years. It's hard to beat that.
But you're right.
Switch to Geico. It's obviously a good idea. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
My dad used to say that.
Sure, yeah. It's from Geico.
Yeah, whenever I would ask my dad for life advice, he'd sit me down and say, son, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more. And look at me now, a well-adjusted adult with a drawer full of plastic bags I'll never use.
Okay, I'm confused. Was your dad a licensed Geico agent?
Nah, he was just a real good dad.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.